Hi everyone, welcome to DuoQueue. I'm Sally,
And I'm Rayla.
and welcome back after our little break for the holidays. Hope everybody had a good time if they celebrated. If not, hope you had a good time doing
Yeah.
your normal shit,
Have a good
your
day.
everyday whatever. I hope you had fun. Well, we're back in full swing, and we're going to talk about the DPS section of the Overwatch League.
Yeah, let's talk about DPS players and our favorite ones.
So for ranked, I think pretty much we're just gonna list off our favorite people and favorite heroes, whatever.
Yes.
You guys know how this goes.
Before you begin, let me say something. Just for those who, if we do have anyone that's listening that's not as familiar with Overwatch or games in general, DPS is the damage per second character. So basically, it's the characters that deal a lot of damage. They're going to be the main characters that you're going to get the kills with and stuff like that. No, go ahead.
That took me a long time to learn, by the way, DPS. That took me a long time.
Yeah.
So thank you for explaining it.
You're welcome.
My favorite DPS heroes to play are, I would say, Junkrat, Sombra, and Bastion. So a lot of my favorite players play those three. Listen to me. If I could go back and redo, and if I were smarter and better at things, I would be like Bastion only player,
Bastion
and I would be really good at it, and that's all I would do, and people would be like, I would get on their team and they'd be like, oh, you have to play Bastion.
One trick Bastion.
So the rest will lose.
Oh my god.
I love to play Bastion. You just get to sit down and shoot.
I was gonna say, please say why you want to play Bastion, because you just want to sit down. That's why.
Yeah, I want to sit and I want to shoot.
I would say my favorite characters, like DPS characters to play, would be Tracer, Hanzo, and probably Somber, because I just think she's really fun. I'm not that good at her, but she's fun to play.
I like the ones where you can just you don't actually really have to play that much. You play for 2 seconds at a time and then you hide, and then you play for 2 seconds, then you hide. Like Tracer is fun for that. Sombra too. You play for 2 seconds, then you hide again. It's fun.
She just wants to hide. It's fine.
Genji's the worst. Genji sucks. He sucks.
Okay.
That was my point.
Just because you brought up Genji, I want to point this out. Like, when Sally first got into Overwatch or whatever, she said to me in a text, she said, Genji's supposed to be like a sniper, right? And I was like, no, he's not. That is not correct, actually.
Well, he doesn't have a lot of health. It's so scary to be so close to people. My memory is very, very bad, but I remember, very vividly getting the text back from you that was like, no, is that what you're doing?
Do you want to talk about some of your favorite ones that you had on your list first?
Yeah. So I think right off the bat, check this off your bingo card. I want to talk about Jake Rat.
Yeah, naturally.
I want to talk about Jake because he's probably my favorite DPS player.
I'd say Jake is also probably one of your favorite players.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite overall players. From the very beginning, I liked Jake. But I like Jake because since I've been watching him and on stream, and now that he's done some casting and stuff, he talks a lot about his thought process and the way that he the decisions that he makes and stuff. And I think that's really interesting. And then there was also that one time that he did a Genji blade into a diva bomb, and that's very relatable.
That is, yeah, I get that. Damn. I guess one of my favorite ones, besides the obvious one, would be agility.
Just wait for that one.
Wait for the obvious one. We'll make you hold out on it, just in case you don't know who it is. You know who it is. But I would say agilities.
Yeah.
Because he's so good, and I just remember during contenders maybe, and he had that really crazy blade, and then I just remember
the 6K blade.
Yeah, and then I remember him just being really good on the Valiant and stuff. So it's just, I've always thought he was a super good player.
I do remember that when we first started watching Overwatch League and I only cared about one team, I was kind of mean to him sometimes.
Yeah, you were really mad at him because he destroyed the Outlaws one time. So
I want to say I've grown, I've learned, I've improved, I've adapted, I've overcome.
And we're agility fans.
And I'm so sorry.
We're sorry. She's sorry, Brady. She was the one that said it.
I'm sorry. I like agilities because he seems like a nice boy.
He does, and he's got a cute cat, and he's sweet to his friends. Who's your next?
I had SBB.
Yeah, Bebo.
Baby Obi. Bee-boo.
Bee-boo.
But at the start of the season, like, SBB was, like, untouchable.
He's, like...
on Tracer.
Yeah,
he still is, but, like, since Tracer's not such a big part of, like, meta anymore, but, and, you know, he's obviously really flexible and can do other things, but, like, start of the season, like, SBB was, like, the shit.
Yeah,
like,
he was the Tracer
nobody
player.
could touch him. Nobody was even close. Like, it's, like... I went back and watched a couple of clips and stuff from the beginning of the season. He's fucking insane.
Yeah.
So like, so
good.
Yeah, he's nutty. Also, he's sunshine packaged up in a man-shaped form.
So cute, so nice, so lovely.
Everybody seems to like him too, which I think is fun.
Yeah, he just seems like a genuinely happy, like
happy-go-lucky
wants to have
guy.
Fun kind of dude.
Yeah, like during the All-Star weekend when, like, I don't know, I think it was like Malik or somebody asked him, like, what's your strategy going into the next thing? And he's like, we have no strategy and this is the happiest I've ever been, or something like that.
It's very funny.
Just great.
I want to talk about Effect.
Okay, I got him.
I love Effect. And I feel like we didn't get to see that much from him this season. But when we did see him, he was like, you could tell, because like when he played, it was when the Dallas Fuel, you know, was struggling real bad. But it was always him that was like basically trying to carry the team. Like, he's just so good.
Effect popping off.
Yeah, like he would pop off. And I remember they always talked about like, I don't remember one of the casters, but one of the times they were against the Dragons. And the casters were like, you know, the Fuel's looking really weak. Like, this could be the chance the Dragons won, and it made Effect like mad or whatever they said, and so he like popped the fuck off and just like destroyed. So
that'll teach you.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know. I'm excited to see him back next season and get to see him play more because I think he's a good dude, and I like to watch him play.
Also, he's a very talented musician.
He is.
He's a very talented piano player, and I think he sings too.
Ooh, I don't know.
But
I know he plays piano.
But that's really cool as well.
That is. I just like him.
Yeah, he's really funny as well, like on streams and stuff. He's hilarious.
So I'm excited to see him back this season.
I had Asher.
Asher, yay.
Like, so many of these are just like, I like who they are not as players. I just like their personalities a lot. That's just how my shit works. But I'm excited to see him hopefully get more playing time in Toronto because he seems to be really good. And then like the Gladiators did like a behind the scenes thing and interviewed him, and listening to him talk about like his life and like how he grew up and how he got here and stuff. He's such a soft-spoken little sweet pea. And I think he's cute. So I'm excited to see him hopefully like get some more spotlight on him.
I'd say for my next one, I'd want to talk about Carpe.
Yeah.
Because like the Philly was like an interesting team because I feel like they would have like really good games and then they would have really bad, you know, like it was like, I remember there was like a stat card one time that was about how like they took, or like that they beat New York Excelsior, but then the Dragons almost beat them. So like they would have really,
they were kind of up and down.
But the one thing that was always consistent was Carpe. That one clip where it was like the entire, like Carpe basically killed the entire roster of Boston Uprising by himself. As a widow.
Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, on Lijiang Tower, like.
The conversation piece was that, how do you stop Carpe?
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
If you stop Carpe, you stop the fusion. Like, it's so crazy the way that, like, you know, it's a team game, so obviously, like, one player doesn't carry the whole thing, but, like, some of, like, the DPS players, like, you pretty much have to shut them down. Yeah. Like, I'm thinking, like, Carpe and Sabiobi at the start, and like Soon comes up a lot there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to shut down the damage doers, or you like, and so like a lot of like, especially the analysis and stuff comes down to like, how do you get this person to not do the thing that they're so good at, which I think is really interesting. But that comes up a lot with really, really top-notch guys. So I think that's interesting.
It's like you said, it's a team game, but because it's a team game, if you can stop one of them from doing their job, it just makes it so much harder for the rest of their team that it can stop them, essentially. Who's next on your list?
Linkser.
Linkser, yay.
Again, like, start of the season, Linkser was, like, up there with the Widow duelists, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, that always came up, like, watching Outlaws matches and stuff, was, like, Linkser had some of the best, like, Widow v. Widow stats. Well, I couldn't track them down in time, but, like,
he did have some that, like you said, he won most of the duels or something like that. I remember it was also a thing that, like, towards the beginning of the season-ish, they would sub Linkser out, and the casters were always just like, or like analysts are like, why are you subbing Linkser out? Like, obviously, like you need him, don't sub him out, kind of deal.
Outlaws are throwing because they took out Linkser.
He's Finland's gift to esports.
But I also like Linkser because of his personality off stage.
He's very cute. His little squishy face.
I was gonna say, he just seems like such a nice, like, chilled out, like, just kind of wants to. Yeah, like, listening to him talk about his now fiance, Steffi, is so sweet.
Yeah.
And, like, he's so cute with her on stream. Like, she'll be sitting off to the side, and, like, he'll talk to her. She'll, like, give him stuff. Like,
well, and the Outlaws did that whole thing about them. You remember?
Yeah,
when, she would always make the signs and everything. That was so cute, and
they're so sweet
they're
together.
Very sweet.
Yeah. And he likes the Pushins.
Yeah.
Which is cute.
Adorable. I would say I want to talk about Saya player. Because we've talked about him briefly before because he was, like, when we did the favorite players. But, like, I feel like Saya player deserves so much praise. Because he was on the Florida Mayhem, which is essentially the second worst team in the league. But he is just, like, he's honestly so insanely good. Like, I would say he's the best Widow player. I mean, I know it's kind of like depends, but he's just like super consistent, and like I know that there's been like times when like on his alt accounts like other pro players thinks he's cheating until they find out it's Saya player and they're like, oh, it's Saya player, okay.
Never mind.
Never mind.
You're
that
not
makes
cheating.
Sense. And it was just like, it was kind of sad because he was so good, but it didn't matter because like I just remember this game on Junkertown, and, like, he legitimately got probably 5 kills as Widowmaker, and they still couldn't get the point. And I just felt so bad because I was like, he's trying so hard to carry, and, like, they couldn't do it because it's a team game.
It's a team game. There's no such thing as a carry.
But, like, he's just so good, and I hope the next season goes better for him because he is so good.
Yeah, he does. He definitely deserves a lot more praise than he gets. I wrote down blasé.
Okay.
And this is like a new thing because I went to the Boston Uprising esports events like when they were here back at the start of December. And blasé was on, like, they did like 3v3s with fans.
Right.
And, like, they had 2 different teams, and there was 1 pro player per team. And, like, when one of the, like, whichever team lost, that pro player got swapped out with a different one.
Mm-hmm.
And then then the team that won got to keep their pro player. Like, that player got to stay playing, I guess.
Right.
But, like, they started with blasé on one team, and then it was, like, I think it was Kellex at first. And they did, like, 6 or 7 rounds, and every single time Blase got to stay, and like they just swapped out all the other ones with the other ones, and they changed like the fans playing every time, but the Blase was just like sitting there the whole time.
Oh my god!
And like every single time he got all 3 kills. It was nuts.
Yeah.
It was so nuts. He just like would just walk over and pretty much just take them out and then move on. It was like the fastest like 6 or 7 rounds of 3v3s I've ever seen. He just was like, boop, boop, boop. All right, next. Like,
Jesus Christ.
Like, thank you, next, Ariana Grande style. It was hilarious. And then, like, he was so nice. Like, we got to walk up and, like, talk to the players and stuff. And he was so nice and, like, so excited. Like, he was talking about how they got their jerseys with their names on them before they got to come out to Boston. And he was so excited because his E had the accent on it.
Oh my god, that's funny.
He was so excited, and I was like, hey, it's great to be here and whatever. And he was like, hey, yeah, we're super excited.
Aww.
And like he was really like full of energy, which I think was really sweet.
Nice.
So I'm excited to see him play on stage. And go ahead, your turn.
So here we are, the moment you all been waiting for.
Oh, the moment of truth, boys.
I would
all
say
2 of you.
Probably my favorite one, who we all saw this coming, so go ahead, but that would be Soon.
Soon.
Because I adore Soon so much. And I think,
why don't you talk about it?
I'm trying to talk about it. I think Soon is a really good player. Like, kind of like you said before, like, he is kind of the strategy to, like, shut down Soon, and you could, at the time, beat the Valiant and stuff like that. Like, I feel like he's such a key player. And he's, like, in my opinion, he's, like, one of the sneakiest Tracer players. Like, some of the back caps he's done is just hilarious and so funny. And
that's, like, kind of become synonymous with him, too, that he's sneaky.
Yeah.
Sneaky Soon.
I was going to say, you always talk about how, like, so sometimes on stream he plays Reinhardt. And you think it's so funny because he'll be like as Reinhardt crouching around corners like he would do as Tracer.
He is the most blatant offender of this, but I've noticed it in other people too. Because most of the streamers that we watch probably are DPS players, and we watch a couple off tanks too. But like the DPS players, they play every other hero like a DPS hero, and it's super funny. But Soon is the biggest like. The most obvious one because, like you said, he'll be playing Reinhardt or like Zarya or something, and he's like crouching in the hallways and like looking around and like like he's like sneaking up onto high ground to like jump down. It's like super funny to watch because he's like always creeping around and he's like giant Reinhardt clumping his metal boots around.
It's just gotta be sneaky.
It's hysterical, but he's the most blatant offender of it, which I think is hilarious.
I love it.
I'm really excited to see how Paris turns out.
Go Paris!
Go Paris! Yeah, but I'm excited to kind of see. I think Soon will feel more comfortable where he is, playing for his home country.
Yeah. Like,
it'll be like World Cup all the time for him.
Yeah.
But again, for my intellectual 9,000 IQ input,
go on.
I think Soon is a nice guy.
Yes, I agree.
He just seems so genuinely earnest. Like, he just seems like he's really kind of a soft-spoken guy, and when stuff comes his way, he's like, okay, my dude. You know, he just seems like really chill, and he like hangs out with his friends, and like it seems like he obviously he has some kind of like competitive spirit to him, but like he does kind of seem like a go with the flow kind of guy, which is really nice.
Yeah, I see so.
It's nice to watch someone chill for once.
Yeah, but he's not like salty and screaming all the time and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's no baby bae, that's for sure.
No, he sure is not. Speaking of baby bae.
I
knew it. I knew that's where it's going.
I had him on my list too.
Yeah, go on. Tell us about Baby Bay.
I have nothing to say about Baby Bay except I think he's very funny and he's a DPS player. And anytime I get to bring up Baby Bay just because I think he's hilarious, I will do it.
I will, to help you talk about Baby Bay, I know, like, during the preseason and especially stage 1, they would always say, like, the Shock's, like, game plan was just to pocket Baby Bay and then hope he does the rest. That was pretty much, like, their game plan. So, like, Baby Bay was, like, a big part of their team, especially in the beginning before they got, like, all their little youngins.
Alright, your turn.
Just since we're talking about the San Francisco Shock, I would say I adore Architect.
Yeah!
So fucking much. Like, I think he's just really sweet. Like, I remember one of the first things I read about Architect was about how, like, he didn't at first join the Overwatch League because he wanted to be able to stay, like, with his grandma and stuff like that. So, like, he didn't want to leave her behind or something like that. And it was just, like, I don't know. He just seems like such a genuinely sweet, like, person. And then he's, like, really good. Like, I remember watching, I have the clip somewhere. I'll have to find it. But, as Genji, he ulted, and during the ult, the Zarya on the other team used the grab. But he thought, and he reflected the grab on her while using the dragon. And, like, I don't know, it was just, like, insane that he pulled that off to me.
Yeah. And didn't you, I think you told me this once that, like, was it he was playing with Giguri?
Yeah, him and Giguri.
And he, like, had to take care of something for his grandma, and will you tell it? I don't remember.
I think
exactly,
I don't remember exactly, but I think he had to go like get her heated blanket for her bed or something about her blanket, and so he ended up getting, you know, like, disconnected or whatever, and so he was telling Giguri, like, sorry or whatever, and she's like, oh, it's okay as long as grandma's okay, you know, fine, or something like that. And it was just,
I guess, like, as a jumping off point, we might as well just talk about Dante. Since he's next.
Since he's next.
Well, he's next on my list.
Okay.
He's next door. But I think Dante really made a name for himself playing Sombra.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's, like, inarguably one of the best, if not close to the number 1 spot.
I would say he was definitely the first person that was, like, considered the best. I think since then more people have, you know, came to play, but he was definitely, like, during when the Overwatch League was going on, he was the best Sombra player.
Yeah, so, like, just because I like to play Sombra, and I think that's interesting, but I think that definitely, like, kind of, like, launched him upwards.
Yeah, I agree.
Plus, he's just fun to watch. Like, I watched a couple of clips of him today, and he kind of, like, it's so interesting because he always kind of seems like he looks behind him a lot, which is really interesting. Like, even when he's, like, invisible as Sombra and he's just, like, running out of spawn, he, like, will turn back around to look behind him all the time. It's funny. Really funny. And again, I think he's really funny. We made fun of him for being dumb, but everybody makes fun of him for being dumb.
I don't mean it when we did it. We don't mean it in a bad way. We mean it in the way, like, we like him.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh my god,
not really dumb.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's just, yeah.
It's just part of who he is. Part of how he is.
Appreciate you, Dante. And I'm excited to see him on the Outlaws because I feel like, especially where he, like, on his former team, he, like, he's such a good player, and it's sad that, like, he pretty much got no playtime after a certain point because he is so good. So I hope he has chances to play a lot for the Outlaws. So I would say also Rascal, who we didn't get to see a lot of him during the first season because
unfortunately
he started out on London
because of some bullshit. We'll just say because of some bullshit.
And then they traded him, and then he got, like, dropped. But
because of some bullshit.
Now he got picked back up by the Shock. So I think Rascal, he's, like, really good. He's funny.
I love Rascal
He's
because
so
he's always
fucking funny.
screaming.
He is always screaming. Him and oh my god, can you imagine him and Baby Bay?
Him
in
and
the room
Baby Bay
together?
are probably gonna just like scream themselves deaf. Like,
So I'm excited to see what he gets to do next season because
yeah,
he deserves to be on a team that's gonna treat him well and where he'll get to play and stuff. Yeah,
appreciate him and not put him through some bullshit.
Yeah.
But then, as long as we're just fucking checking off the San Francisco Shock, why don't we talk about Stryker just a little bit?
So, Stryker, like, I legitimately forgot Stryker was on Shock. But yeah, so he started out on Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Bad shit. Now he's on
some bullshit.
Now he's on Shock. I feel like Stryker.
I think Stryker really stepped up.
Yeah.
In a really big way from some shitty stuff. I think it's going to be great to see him really thrive in a place where hopefully he's comfortable. Because if he was so fucking good in a place where he was not, like, feeling 100%, like, personally great, I think if he can, like, if hopefully this is the case, I don't know, can't tell the future and I'm not on the inside, but hopefully, best case scenario, he is somewhere where he is well taken care of and he's comfortable and valued, and I think that's going to really help him like thrive even more than he did in the first season, because when you're feeling good you're going to perform good. So I'm excited to see what happens to him when he's in a place that hopefully is better for him.
Yeah, I think just talking about Stryker, I think one of the most like memorable moments of probably last season of Overwatch was like when Boston, they had all that difficulty, and then Stryker and, like, Mistake stepped up, and there's, like, that image of, like, Stryker being, like, with them winning, and Stryker just, like, getting so emotional and crying, because, like, they did it.
They beat the Excelsior.
Yeah, so, like, I think that's such a good moment.
We talked about this, I think, was it? I don't know, we talked about it. Last
podcast, I guess I should say.
Pine is... like, I would say one of the more creative players.
Yeah, he really is.
He's unconventional, which I think is really fun to watch. And also, he's just insanely good.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when we were in the arena, and we watched New York play the Gladiators, because we planned poorly.
Yeah. To be fair, we didn't plan
around the Gladiators. We planned around the Outlaws.
Which was perfect because they won both the games we saw. So we planned well in some aspects, not the other aspects.
And this clip has like come up again and again now, but Pine, they were on Ilios. They were on the Ruins, right? That's what it's called. There's a clip where Pine is just basically standing out in the wide fucking open, and he takes out 3 of the Gladiators all in a row. Like,
yeah, Pine is
it's fucking nutty. It's insane. Yeah. So like, it's really fun to watch him because he's so unconventional and he's still so good that you're like, how in the fucking world is this gonna work? And then it does, and you're like, all right, well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know like a lot of times the casters talk about like how like the way he plays, it's like if it was anyone else, it wouldn't work, and they would like, get fucking killed or whatever. But because it's Pine, it's so unconventional, and he's so good, like he's able to pull off this crazy stuff that he does.
Yeah, which makes him really, really fun to watch.
Who's next on your list?
Fleta.
You love Fleta.
I love Fleta. That conversation where you have to shut down the one big player, and Fleta was like, Fleta is the meta. That was a joke for a long time. Like, Fleta was there. Fleta was there. Carpe, there soon. There, shut down this player, and you shut down the dynasty. Like, it's so interesting to me, those kinds of conversations. But like, Fleta again was one of like the really top Widow players. Next, I had Hydration.
Yep.
Which I can appreciate his kind of like bare minimum while still being really good energy.
You mainly like Hydration for his name.
Yeah, and I love his name, but we talked a lot about his name in a different episode, so if you haven't heard that, go listen to our episode where we talk about Hydration's name. But also, he just like has this kind of like,
so
energy.
And I just appreciate Hydration because, since it was around Christmas time, the Gladiators did this whole, like, it was for charity, they did this telethon thing, and if you would donate, the gift you got was hydration, singing Christmas songs, and it was like, if you want to call it singing, it was like, you know, hydration, and his just monotone voice doing the Christmas songs, and it's like amazing, and I think it's so funny.
I thought about asking you if I could listen to it, and
you
then I
would
realized
hate it.
that I'm such an asshole
Yeah.
that I literally couldn't sit through it,
Yeah.
probably.
You would
just
hate it.
because I'm an asshole.
I love it. I think it's hilarious and just like such a fun way to like do a charity event and give the fans like something unique, but like, I don't know. I think it's funny, but yeah, you could never listen to it.
But I can appreciate that he's always a good sport, too.
Yeah.
Like when they were making fun of him for how often he orders Chipotle and stuff.
Dude, listen, hydration, if I could have Chipotle all the time, I would. So
I was going to say, man after your own heart, really.
Yeah.
And also, again, like, he's insanely good.
Yeah.
Like, he got swapped out a lot at the start.
I would say he's probably was the original, like, Doomfist player. Like, we talked about how Dante was, like, the original really good Sombra. I would say Hydration was the Doomfist one. Like, anytime he could play Doomfist, he was all about it, and he was really good at it.
Yeah, I think he's still, like, kind of everybody's, like, first thought when you think of the hero.
The game where, like, the gladiators just said, fuck it, and put Hydration on Lucio. It was fucking great.
And then the next one I had was Surefour.
Clicking off all the gladiators while we're there.
Yeah, we're just taking off all the gladiators.
Have we covered every single gladiator yet?
Almost all of them. Gladiator. You just can't have this conversation without talking about him.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have a conversation about the best DPS players in the Overwatch League if you don't talk about Surefour.
Yeah.
Like, he is easily one of the top players. I think he comes to mind constantly.
We talked about the All-Star thing, and he was the one that won the Widow duel.
He did. I think what puts Surefour up a step above a lot of other players is the amount of flex that he can do.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's so good on everything that, like, you almost can't even put him in a fucking category. Like, they put him in flex, but, like, he's so good on everything. Like, he's insane on all the DPS heroes. He can play Zarya really well. He can play Roadhog really well. He can play Rhine. He can heal. Like, he can do everything.
And I would say, like, I feel like a lot of the other players would have been like, this is, like, the character they're known for. I feel like he doesn't have one because, like, yeah, he's a good Tracer player, but yeah, he's also a good McCree player. And he's also a good Widow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like he doesn't have a signature one because he's just good at all of them.
Because he's so fucking good at everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, the thing that I always, like, think about when I think about everybody's, like, hero that they're associated with is, like, who fans draw them as. Like, for fan art, like, what they do with them. And, like, increasingly Surefour's drawn, like, with Widow stuff, but, like, it's kind of a grab bag.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, he's good at, like, everything, like you said.
Like, Jake's always Junkrat.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
That's just
like,
how it is.
Custa is always Mercy.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it works. But, like, I feel like you couldn't just you'd have to just fucking draw one out of a hat.
Just whichever you want, pretty much.
Yeah. And even he, like, if you ask him, he hasn't answered that question.
Yeah.
Like, they'll go, who's your favorite hero to play? And he always says fucking Bastion. I think more so than a lot of others, like, you have to shut down Surefour.
Yeah.
Because if you shut him down on one thing, he's just going to pick something else. And, like, now you have to completely rework yourself. I think he, more than anybody else, is, like, the definition of that role, that flex role.
Yeah, I think so. They
did that one crazy play where they had him pick Brigida to, like, trick London. And then they all kind of, like, ran around the side, and he was just sitting in spawn waiting to switch. And then they called it out to him, and he jumped up in the window as Widowmaker and took out half the team. God. Like, you can't do something like that really without, like, having someone that can just jump into something.
Yeah, and it's like
so fast, be in exactly the right frame of mind to like pull that off.
Yeah, it was like that was one of the best plays I would say of the season. That was just like insane. That like, and just like that, I feel like they probably didn't even know if that would work. Like they probably didn't know that like, because like what if they're like, oh well, the brig's not there or whatever, so they expect it, but they pulled it off successfully. And I think that was really cool.
Yeah, and I think again, like I think it all depends on the fact that he was able to like switch those gears so fast, and also the movement of his teammates mattered too. Like they have to move in such a way that they're all clustered together so close that like they wouldn't notice that they're missing a player.
And
like
just like talking about him playing as like Widow, there's also another clip that I always think of that's on the moon, and it's where he was playing Widow, and I'm pretty sure it's against Valiant, and he's emoting as her so he can sit down so that he can see across the corner, and then he just like gets up and instantly headshots the other Widow, who probably was soon. But it was just like insane because like all you do is you see him setting down on the point, but it's not because he's like BMing or anything. It's like he was using it so that he could rotate and see the angles.
Yeah, like, and again, like it just comes down to that he thinks about it in such a big way. He did that during the World Cup against France. Poor Soon.
No, leave Soon alone.
Sure, four fucking beats up on him, I guess. But like, during the World Cup, he was playing Sombra, and he did pretty much like a frame perfect EMP.
Yeah.
Like, launched his Diva Bomb in, and poor Ben Best was all set up. He had the shield. He thought he was ready. He was good. He was going to protect Soon, who's standing behind him. And Surefour jumps in with the translocator, and pretty much like literally like a millisecond, like it almost looks like in the clip like Sombra is setting off the bomb.
Yeah.
Like it's that close together. Like the timing is so perfect, and he ends up knocking out poor Ben Baston soon.
Surefour leaves Soon alone challenge.
But like he's just so good.
He is.
Like obviously he's not unstoppable. You can, but like he's just so good that it's
like you just have to like be prepared to go toe to toe with him if you want to.
Yeah, on whatever fucking hero he decides he feels like playing.
Well, like, these ones, I can't really say... The only one of them I can say, like, I know that they're good. But there are about 3 players plus an honorable mention of players that I look forward to seeing in the future. And the first one is Kib, who is now on the Charge. So, like, I feel like during the Overwatch World Cup, he was on Team UK. And he did, like, so fucking good. Like, they almost, they came so close to beating Korea. They did knock out the USA, which, everyone was like, this is the year USA is going to beat Korea or whatever. And I feel like Kid was like a big part of that, and he was so good, and I don't know, I look forward to seeing him play. And then Danye, he is on Paris. Danye played for Poland. And, like, I just remember he was, like, such a good team. Like, he was such a good player. He was, like, people always talked about him, even though like his team didn't do that well in the qualifier. He was in the Paris qualifier, but like he specifically, his name was one that like everyone would mention and talk about how good he is. So I'm excited to see him. And then third is Flower, who he played for Team Korea last year on the World Cup, and the only reason he wasn't in the Overwatch League was because he wasn't old enough. So he was on NYXL 2, which is their baby team. But this year he got upgraded to the big leagues. And I feel like Flower was just like... the big leagues. He was such an insane player. Like, I don't even know, like, how to talk about it. But he was so good. And I don't know. I hope he is still able to play at that level. I feel like you didn't hear too much about him, like, when he was in Contenders. But I also feel like the teammates he have in Contenders compared to, like, the teammates he's going to have on NYXL is, like, a huge difference, and that, affects how you play. Mm-hmm. So I think he can make, like, a big impact. and I look forward to seeing how well he does. And then my last one, who he's sadly not in the Overwatch League, but I know you also love him dearly. It's our good friend Mooey.
Justice for Mooey!
Justice for Mooey. In Twitch chat, everyone was always yelling, "Spectate Mooey, spectate Mooey." He was on... I need to look it up. I think he was on Team Hong Kong. But let me look it up just so I can be factual, since we're a factual podcast here.
Yeah, we're 100% fact-based. Everything we say is a fact.
Never been wrong. He was on Hong Kong, and he's just, he was so good. His team, again, his team did not do very well. I'm pretty sure they got last. But despite that, he was just really consistent, a very good Widow player. And like I said, because he was so good, everyone was like, "Spectate Mooey." And he was very adorable when they interviewed him.
He was so tiny.
So tiny, and I think he was a little nervous.
He was so shy. They asked him a question, and he would kind of go, and then he would talk really, really quietly to the translator. It was so cute. And
yeah, I really adore Mooey, and I was really hoping he was gonna be on a team this year.
Next year.
I'm pretty sure he's a coach for the Contenders team. But come on, Mooey. I want to see you play, because that was my last one. I just adore Mooey, and I felt people don't talk about him too much, and I really like him. So
Justice for Mooey.
Justice for Mooey. For Arcade this week, we're going to do a little clip show type deal where I gathered a bunch of DPS clips and just going to share some of those, and we, talk about them. We might pause and watch it again and stuff like that.
And these are going to make me want to eat my computer. So let's go for it. Right.
So this is
Uber.
Love you,
my
Uber.
Sweet boy.
So if you look, Carpe already killed Mistakes. And then
Striker
came in. Got all that. But guess what? Carpe doesn't fucking care what you do, Striker. I love Uber's reaction.
What are you doing?
How did he win that? It's insane. And Ikio's
he single-handedly took it. Oh!
This was what we talked about earlier, where he was doing the emote, and then bam. I'm
kaboom. Goodbye soon.
Bye. Miss you soon.
Little beach.
Here's Sally's favorite Fleta.
Yes!
Look at him pop
Get him.
off.
Get him!
Oh, Mom.
Fuck you, Moth!
You bitch.
Bye, Nevix. Not today.
No, Sinatra.
Damn, Fleta, get him!
Literally. If you
Fleta is the meta.
They almost lost that, but because of that, they could do it. This was from the World Cup.
Good. What's this? Okay.
As you can see, Flower just killed the whole team. Don't worry, there's a replay since you probably blinked and missed that.
I hello?
So this is why I say I can't wait to see Fleta Flower, because I remember how good he was at this. So he goes for the blade, and then
what?
Everyone's
I still don't understand.
They're all dead.
Go back and do it again. Okay. I still don't understand.
They're all dead. They're all dead. So.
How? Yeah, but how?
Okay, get ready. You might blink and miss it again. Because they're all dead. And then he just stands there.
Okay, so 3 of them are... Did he just, dash through 3 of them and get them all at the same time?
Yep, he sure did. Watch. So he reflected and got, Nico very low and then dashed through and finished it off. And then, yep.
Jesus.
And to follow that up, agility.
I know this one.
My favorite part is if you're listening to the commentators, there will be a replay, but the commentators are don't really have much to work with, but agility's blade, and then everyone's dead. He just did it.
Get him, Brady.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, get him!
Can you imagine playing Genji and getting that many kills?
No.
They're cute.
I've never done anything. I've never killed a single person with Genji before. Oh, what is this?
This is gonna be a Pine play.
Okay. Did I miss it already?
No,
I did.
No, it's a replay.
Oh, okay.
It's showing it right now.
Oh, hello? What you doing, Pine?
Yeah, that's what. As we
What
talked,
you doing, fine?
as we talked about, he does those weird unconventional. Like,
Hello? I wasn't even looking.
Shout out to
Yes!
Poco. Unfortunately,
Get him,
Poco's not
Poco.
the star of this replay. It's Prophet.
No, he is.
Just look at this. Just
You DPS motherfucker. Oh my god.
like he just keeps doing it. He's
He's still doing it.
still doing it. He
Can't be
can't be
stopped.
stopped. Nope. He pretty much killed the entire team. Oh, Saya player, you tried so hard, my
There we
man.
go.
He's like,
Tried so hard. Bye soon.
bye soon. Like I said.
Soon's having a rough day.
Just like he's so good.
Oh my god.
Saya player is gonna follow up with another Saya player one because he's just, it's insane. 69% accuracy.
He's nutty.
As well.
Nice.
Like
Oh, bye Neptune.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, he just.
I didn't even see him up there. What the fuck? Don't poke your head out. He's gonna take your head off. Look at how!
He's not done. He just keeps going. It's okay. Now Soon can.
There we go.
Now we can show some Soon.
We owe him this.
We
Fucking
do.
bye, XQC.
Bye, Kim.
Little beach. Let's soon play Tracer.
And just as a note, Soon would have killed everyone if Kuriv and Envy didn't finish him off. And then bam.
Oh!
And then he dies by single, but like.
It's fine.
He's a good Linkser
Yeah, get
player.
him, Linkser.
Yay, Linkser.
Woo.
Like,
Oh, bye.
so good scene.
There's another one. Get him. I know there's
That
another
one was.
Yeah!
That's like so insane.
I knew that one. There we go.
There you go.
Here's a boy.
Like, Jesus Christ.
He's doing it.
Okay.
Suni, once again.
This is actually insane. So he pretty much.
Getting it.
This is only a clip of this because he literally spawn camps in the entire game. So this is just like.
Suni's just standing up there hopping around. He's
At one
having a good
point,
time.
I think it's cut out of this clip,
Oh.
but they're like, Unko and Binbus must be so bored because they don't get to do anything. He's just.
Oh, bye.
Just
Bye.
It's actually crazy.
Oh,
Genji got away because he
is he gonna
deflected,
get him
but
again?
no, he didn't. He did later, but he reflected and got away, and then that was it.
Oh, I
So
know this
is-
one.
This is the one we talked about. That's
Here
probably
we
one
go.
of
They're
the
being sneaky.
best players, I would
boy.
say.
There's my boy Ted.
It's okay.
Get him, Ted.
Do it, Ted.
Get him, Ted. It's all you.
Yeah, it's like, where are they going?
I love that. Like, on the bottom, you can see Sherfor just looking at them. He's not even looking at his screen.
He's probably looking at Remix's screen too. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. There he is. He's waiting.
He's just sitting there. He's got time.
I remember watching this and being like, what the fuck are they doing?
What the fuck are they
Like,
doing?
hello? Lane's just gonna
Oh
sit this
my
one out.
God.
Yeah, get him.
He's popping off. Can
Get
you
him.
imagine shooting the gun as Widow and hitting people?
No.
Yeah, I can't either.
Yeah, can't clean him up, Ted.
Yeah.
Get him. Yay.
That is. There you go. That's how you do it.
And that's how you do it.
So
That's how it's done.
Those were the clips I had. I thought, those are some good. And it was a pretty good mix. Of
Yeah.
people.
Watching stuff like that, first of all, it stresses me out.
They're just so good.
And second of all, it's like they're playing the same game that we're playing.
Yeah.
Like, they have the same cooldowns, the same abilities, like it all works the same exact way. The rules are the same, and yet here we are, marinating in our own mediocrity, while Agilities is getting 6 kills in
Yeah.
one go.
As he just goes through the whole team.
Like, while Carpe is taking the point himself. Like,
Yeah, it's insane.
it's nuts. Just want to watch it again, kind of.
You want to watch it again?
I kind of just want to watch it
Let's
again.
just watch it again. Alright, here we go.
Play here because you don't have like outside high ground to escape
Let
to.
me hear my
But
mans.
it looks like the Boston
That
Bruins
was
get
a-
too busy trying to take the point.
Let's see where that's my mans.
Again, Philadelphia Fusion
God, this is so insane because it's like on
Because, like, this is
paper-
locked up.
Yeah, like on paper, they should have taken the point, and then Carpe's like, no.
Carpe's like, no.
And Ikyo, let's give it to Ikyo. He was there too.
Yeah, let's give it to Ikyo a little bit, but how have they done this?
The point from the other side. Here is Surf4 looking beautiful.
Looking beautiful.
Later, beach.
Oh, it's just a nice shot.
This A point has
Surf4 looking beautiful.
gonna kill him straight up in the vacuum.
God.
Here we go.
Office, Splitter finally
Yeah, bye, Super.
Bye.
Bye, Moth.
Bye.
Here we go. Soul Dynasty might be
Bye,
God,
Nevix.
it's so good.
at the very end.
Architect's like,
And
I'm
bye,
gonna...
Sinatra. Later.
Architect tries to escape.
We're not gonna revel in Architect's death. We'll
No,
press
I
F to pay respects for Architect,
God,
but
this
no one else. Like, there's it's 1 second. I can't.
It is 1 second.
Maybe I'll be, and I'm like, oh, SVP's gonna pop off here. Just kidding. Everyone is deleted in one frame.
Unfortunate that it's Team Friends as well, but you know.
Yeah, Soon had a rough day here.
I know, I didn't mean to, but
And then it's like, maybe I should buy
Yeah.
really don't have any.
it really was a lot of like Philly and Valiant getting killed. God.
Golden Point.
The hell was that?
The hell was that?
This was also back in. They
What?
had to wait to play the game to re-see this because they didn't
Yeah.
have replays.
Same.
I agree.
What is that?
What is it?
And hits a grand slam.
And that's what you get with Paimdoa. He flanks around the backside of the London formation, as you're about to see with the Infrasight, and nailed the shots. Not many Widowmakers
Like, I
would
can't.
go for
Yeah.
this play.
Now the Pinewood.
And he
Bye.
just absolutely
Bye.
That one's gone, and we'll get rid of that one too in
God.
like 1 frame. Like, oh my god, your eyes have to work so hard.
This was insane.
Coco tried so hard.
He did so well.
He tried so hard.
And then it doesn't matter. Bye, Neptuno.
Bye,
Bye,
Carpe.
Carpe.
This entire clip's nuts. Honestly.
Bye, Hoppa.
See you later, Hotba.
Ridiculous.
Bye, Sato.
Oh, bye, Sato.
And bye, Poco.
And bye, Bucko.
Priority #1 right now.
Here we go.
No, soon.
Bye, Soon.
No, Custer.
Oh, Custer, no!
Kareem.
No, Grim!
Red Brady.
No, Ratatouille's no!
He's like,
That's so nuts.
he's insane.
This one's crazy because like how do your eyes work?
I don't know.
That's it. That's the end of the sentence. How do your eyes work?
Your eyes work. God.
Like how?
Just not missing a
He,
single shot.
like he shot him in the ear and like took him out. Like you get one little pixel of him is sticking out.
It's
Fuck off,
crazy.
XQC.
I love the commentary on this.
You wanna hide from me?
There we go.
Just listen though.
There's spot. No, Kareem, what are you doing? Get with the program. This is Soon's show.
Soon show. That's about this podcast.
It is. This is the Soon show.
That supercharger, kind of want to stay in range with that.
I feel like we skipped over Striker there.
Here, let's go back and watch Shaker.
I feel like we skipped him. We have to give fairness to everybody. I know it's the Soon show, but
It is the Soon show.
Get with the program. This is Soon's show. Ideally, this doesn't
God. Jesus
Bye.
Christ.
Jesus Lord.
See what-
Like, how do you get out of that? Like, it says
You
you're stuck
don't.
and you're like, well,
This is so good, dude. Like,
bye.
The tire put the fear of God.
This one, like,
this tracer shot is crazy.
this, yeah. Oh, it's nuts. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding?
Wayne Roberts.
for the Gladiators.
Get him.
Damn.
So unfortunate for facility, but you can see this is why he's favored as a really good Widowmaker.
God.
And he's like, benevolence to
He and like I'm not even kidding. He literally
can
did this for the next 3 minutes of this game, pretty much.
You can tell Soon is super hyped too. He's jumping around and clicking his mouse, like you can see it in his motions. That's super
It
funny.
is.
I mean, let's be fair, it was a DPS main.
Get him, Tay.
Do it.
So let's not cut it off.
Get him.
God.
Yeah.
Just
Dude.
That can only last for so long.
Little appearance from the crowd there.
Widowmaker, profit now on Junkrat. He's just
Here
going
we
to
go.
charge this already up. Especially if they go towards the point, you're going to be able to keep everybody up as well.
Oh, look, Silk Thread on the Zaya here. I feel like more recently we're not asking what Silk Thread can do anymore. We're all kind of asking what he can't.
Yeah, what can he do?
So many
Yeah,
different
what
things
can't
that
it
bring
do?
out.
He can do it all.
Okay, I like this from the Gladiators. This is cute. They're gonna try and
This is
circle
cute.
around.
This is cute.
This is cute.
Where
It is very cute.
are you going? Where are you? Oh, that's
Where
chilling in
are you-
small. So he's waiting here. He can sort of walk out. What does he try to do?
I think he's going to either switch to Widowmaker. Yep.
Uh-oh.
He's going to be the play. He's gonna switch to Widow.
I'm gonna call this the merry-go-round because it makes me laugh, makes me happy, and Shortfall switches to the
Jesus.
Widowmaker. And just the
There he
right
goes.
Closer drops down, and it's a day in the shooting range for Lane Roberts, the Canadian superstar. Unloads on the Spitfire.
Lane Roberts,
And they get
Canadian
completely
superstar.
smacked. Sometimes, Matt, the
Damn.
best laid plans fail, but not this one.
Yay.
What's so funny is I remember, like, right after that happened, people came to Sureforce stream and, like, were screaming at him, like, oh my god, how'd you pull that up? And he was like, you know what I did? I clicked Brigida, and I sat in spawn, and I waited till Goose said switch, and I switched. And that's it.
That's how we do it. Let's get
I
it.
said, I waited till Goose said go, and then I went. Or something like that. It was like...
That's how you do it.
so nonchalant.
That's so funny. That's an insane.
What was that?
That's,
Hello? Oh, Isabella!
that is Bella.
Leave that in. Yeah, so that was our DPS episode. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
If you have any favorite DPS clips, tell us about them.
Yeah, leave them in the comments. Or just tell us, because everyone here knows us. Next week, we're going to talk about our favorite support players. We'll probably do a really similar setup where we'll pick, clips of
Yeah.
support players and stuff. We'll probably just do the same thing.
And then the week after that, we're going to save bin best for last. And then,
Ew.
like we said, thanks
Yes.
for watching.
Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Yeah, so join us next week when we talk about support players. And as always, GG go next.
GG, go next.